Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to United View. Welcome to another Flex's View. I could get used to this. I could get used to this feeling. The morning after, the night before. Man, what a performance yesterday from Michael Carrick and his coaching staff, and more importantly, the team. And how did he do it? This is what this video is just about, vibes, yeah, and just emotion, yeah. Because I've tapped back into that. Shout out my GOAT, shout out my legend, Andy Cole. Like you said, we know what happened before the game. I'm not going to go into that, the messaging and stuff, yeah. But I woke up, but even before I went to bed, watched Match of the Day. Fell asleep though because I was tired. Woke up, watched Match of the Day again. You know what I mean? Listening to interviews, watching post-match content from all over, just consuming as a fan. It's been great. And I saw a lot of people in the comments actually of the video of my match reaction saying, I missed this Flex. Oh, I'm glad like he's like this again, or this, that, and the other. And I was like, that's great. But then I was also like, guys, have we not remembered like how we've been playing? I've been unable to leave the stadium, go into our filming spot and wax lyrical about how good every single player was to a man, to a T. Because we haven't done it. Have you guys seen the last 2 years? So I think what it was just a reminder. It was one big reminder of how results obviously drive our feelings. We've been watching Dross. We, together, you and I, we've been watching absolute crap. Gary Neville said it on his post-match reaction as well. Was like, he was just so happy he could talk about the game afterwards and not dissect a load of crap. The fans, like we were clapping at half-time at 0-0 because we was playing the game in the right way. But yes, I said this is about emotion and vibes, but this is also about Michael Carrick. And how did he do this? What did he do? Shout out to Sandro Martinez as well. Because, and I'm not being the Nicky Butt thing and the Scholes thing. That's another thing. We've addressed that. But they asked him in his post-match, like, what is it? Like, what did Michael Carrick improve in just 3 days? How did he do this from Wednesday to the weekend? How? Wednesday to Friday. What changed? And he said playing with the ball, playing with confidence. What Carrick did with his assistants was unbelievable, and that's why I'm impressed. That's what he said. And look, we'll talk about it in a bit about it's one game and can they carry it on and consistency. 100%. We'll pivot to that. They're proper conversations, but we still have to mull over like what happened yesterday and how, because let's be real, shout out James, I saw him say it as well, and a lot of us were saying it in the ground, like that's been our best performance in years. And the reason why is because it wasn't, there's games, we've had big wins before, because I've seen a lot of people say, you beat Liverpool away, you beat City away last year under Amrin. And I see people say that, and obviously it's true. So this is why we can't get carried away with this result to be like, we're back and we're going to go on a run and everything's fit. You can't entertain any of that talk. But the reason why yesterday felt different, and the reason why people are going perceived overboard with the feeling, is because of the manner of the performance. Like, it wasn't smash and grab. It wasn't just nicking it. It wasn't close. Like, we actually battered City. I don't listen, and you can say that version of City. Look at their back four; it wasn't great. They've invested into players and stuff like that. They've got to come back, so it's not prime City. But we've never looked that comfortable against City. Even beating them under Ollie didn't look like that. So that was significant. And then you couple that with the fact that Michael Carrick's only been there 3 days, and he's come up with a plan that essentially, regardless of whether the opposition was Brentford at home or City at home, we haven't seen that type of performance. So for them to show it against City in the derby as well after 3 days, you got to commend Michael Carrick and his team. Steve Holland, Woodgate, Evans, whatever they did, like, it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. So they deserve credit. And if you watch Match of the Day, and there's probably other breakdowns as well, you guys are in different countries, so you wouldn't have seen Match of the Day. But for the guys in the UK, you would have. And Alan Shearer was talking about it, and they were highlighting the tactical side of it to show it wasn't just vibes. Like, that win was by design, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, emotion and energy and intensity and the crowd and the players running hard and getting the right decisions go your way and the element of luck. All these things matter. But tactically, we were spot on. What the highlights, to explain to some of you who didn't see it, they were highlighting the fact that obviously we were 4-4-2 out of possession. The closing down of players and the blocking of passing lanes and half spaces into Foden, into Bernardo Silva, in front of Rodri from people like Casemiro, from people like Dorgu, from people like Kobbie Mainoo was excellent. They showed Kobbie Mainoo basically have sort of like a man marking job in that sort of in the right 8 position for City, where Foden was. And Kobbie was just screening, blocking off the passing lanes. They showed how quickly, even though Dalot could have been fortunate not to get sent off, they showed how quickly he was to get out to Doku, and how quick Dorgu was to get dropped back in and help him and create 2v1s so that Doku couldn't get the better of Dalot. And the same on the other side. With Luke Shaw doing his job, as well as who else was coming back in there? Who was the other midfielder? Bruno. Like, people were just helping. So I'm saying all of the help was just there from the start, and it was brilliant. You saw it. You saw how well it was thought out. And Dorgu was the shifting of the team when the ball went from one side to the other, closing up the gaps. And listen, some of it is basics, and you think, wow, it's not exactly a masterclass, but it was by design. It really, really was by design. And Michael Carrick picked the right team. He picked the team that was fast. He picked a team that was dynamic. He made the right subs at the right time. Bringing in Maguire, he even admitted it was a calculated risk. He said, I don't know how long he's going to be able to last. He's only trained twice fully in the last, I don't know if it was 8 weeks or whatever, but however long it was since he was out from Liverpool. Probably was about a couple of months ago now, isn't it? That Liverpool game. Can't remember. So it was a massive ask for Maguire to do that, and he did it. He did it, man. Do you know what I'm saying? And it just gets you thinking, I see it's gone a bit quiet. Look, here's the thing. People don't really like the point scoring thing. Shout out KG's well, point scored today. And it is, when you win, you just got to enjoy it. And it's but it is, you do notice that, the noise of, you asked for this. That wasn't there yesterday. Do you know what I mean? The people that were like, oh, Amorim, this, that, and it wasn't there. And I'm not even doing that one. As you can see, the title of the video is not that. It's not Amorim out as sit down. Amorim in as sit down. We don't need to really talk about Amorim. It's more about talking about Michael Carrick, about what he did in that time, in those 3 days. And the freshness that was brought to the team was unreal. Now, listen, we enjoy this day, yesterday. We enjoy it. And like Gary Neville says, you don't know when they come around. I don't know when we're next going to play good as well as that again. Now, Arsenal is probably not the measuring stick to judge it. But if we go out there and blow Arsenal away, everyone's just going to be losing their minds. But what's more realistic is you just give Arsenal a really good game. They're not scoring that many goals at the minute. And, you can nick a draw at the Emirates, which would be a great result, But can we back up that performance with a good display of ourselves? And one thing I've seen a lot of people say, content creators, media, obviously fans, etc., everyone. One thing I've seen them say is that we can lose games. If we lose, we lose. But the attitude to the game has to remain like that. It has to remain like that. We have to play like that. Do you know what I mean? You can't play within yourself like you're too scared or you don't want to go and express yourself. And, obviously, you got to play with caution in certain bits and you can't go running around like lunatics. There has to be method to the madness. But, you have to approach the game with that willingness to want to put the other team under pressure, want to get our better players on the ball, get our more athletic players running. Use the strengths of the team. We want to see the team set up to use the strengths of the team. And that's exactly what Michael Carrick did. Kobbie Mainoo. So I'm saying, dropping the shoulder on Semenyo, winning duels, winning 1v1s. He was good yesterday, man. And that, again, I don't want to go back to his brother was right to wear the 3 Cobbies, laughing now, this, that, and the other. That's what it is. The fact of the matter is that we just have a manager, head coach in Carrick until the end of the season at least, that values Kobbie Mainoo, that values what he's about, that values trying to get the best out of him, that sat on a podcast with Rio and said, nah, man, players like him, they don't come around that often. You have to find a way to get him to express himself. That's my job. you know. And under Ruben, obviously, he didn't see it that way with that particular player. And even in the first game under Dan Fletcher, the first couple of games, he come off the bench against Burnley and started against Brighton, and people were still saying, look, he's playing, he ain't doing nothing. And this is what you're saying. It's like you can't just change from Ruben, and then if the first 2 games don't go right, it means that he should have stayed. It doesn't mean that. The same way we can't get carried away because Carrick's come in and done this in 3 days. It doesn't mean he should stay and get the job and all that stuff. I'm not entertaining any of that. So I just think we have to talk about per 90. And that game yesterday was, to a T, to a man, absolutely superb, bro. Superb. And like I said, we can all get used to this. It's just felt nice, just being positive, just remembering what it's like to be proud of the team and backing them. Do you know what I'm saying? And I don't, listen, where we've had every right to criticise every single last one of them because they've been a disgrace. In fact, the other conversation that's starting to surface a little bit is, where has that been? Like, why have you guys not been able to run through brick walls when it's been Ruben, when it's been Eric? Where has that type of performance been? So we don't want this to be a flash in the pan and we don't see that for another 13 games because we don't know what's going to happen in the next game. Could get absolutely stuffed by Arsenal playing exactly the same way. Then we play Fulham at home and we might draw. You don't know. You don't know. But this gives a feeling that there's something there, in there, with that setup. Vibes until the end of the season. And good coaching. Let's not just say it's vibes, because like I said, Carrick had a good situation. But there's loads of tests to come. We enjoy it, and then we go from there. Smash a like on the video, people. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the day. And we reconvene tomorrow morning live with even more energy, more positivity, and more good feelings and vibrations. I'm out of here. Peace.